In light of the latest news about Nancy Mace and her legislative push to prevent biological males from entering women's restrooms on Capitol Hill, I just want to read you a piece which I wrote some time ago. It has nothing to do with the aforementioned news. But see what you think, and let me know what you think down in the comments below. Here we go. A male is not a she, and a female is not a he. Any diversion from reality renders the terminology meaningless. Neither can choose to be either. It's one and done. Biology has spoken, and ideology can only complain. If you claim to be a horse, I'll tell you to stop horsing around. And if you claim to be a cow, I might have beef with you. So if you claim to be that which contradicts the entire concept of consistency in creation, I'll tell you to use your imagination to consider how attempting to change your identity only epitomizes the fact that there's a binary from which you're attempting to choose. When one begins a so-called transition, not only does the word itself acknowledge the unnatural nature of what's taking place, but the options are only male to female or female to male, precisely because those are the only two possibilities, aside from some biological abnormality, which would only go to highlight how things should be. Ironically, to say that you're a trans woman is to unintentionally acknowledge that you're merely a male who currently claims to be a woman. Vice versa. If you actually believe that there's no objective difference between men and women, then there's no reason to even attempt to transition in the first place. If you believe, as I do, that there is in fact an objective difference between men and women, then to treat he's and she's as though they're interchangeable is to deduce coherent language to woke garden variety gender gibberish. An obvious point to make here is that there's a reason why we're hearing about biological males in women's sports, rather than about biological females in men's sports. You see, false equivalences lead only to more inequality. Ones will always be ones, and twos will always be twos. That's the only way the math adds up. Otherwise, the math just ain't mathing, as a wise man or a woman once said. The more you live in a fantasy, the more the reality reveals itself, if you only take notes. And that's all he wrote.